Hi, welcome to Dupi Animations. So today we are going to be creating a particle heart animation. A particle heart animation template like the one you see on your screen. Okay, so this kind of templates can be used for several things like Valentine, birthday, wedding, or award picture or video slideshow. So not to waste time, let's start. Okay, now let's create a new composition, 1920 by 1080. Let's name it Scene 1. Scene 1. Okay. All right. Now let's insert in a new solid layer. New, solid. Let's name it Particles. Particles. Let me make it comp size. Okay. All right. Now let's insert in a null object. New, null objects. Okay. Now select the particles layer, then come to effects and type CC particle world. Okay, the second one, double click to apply it. All right. Once it comes, now select the two layers, the null objects and the particles, then make them 3D. Okay. So now we are going to work on the particles. Okay. Hit E for effects. That's the CC particle where to come. Then click on the cascading arrow beside it to bring the drop down. Then come to its producer. Click it. Now on producer, position X. That's where we are going to work. Let me alt click on the stopwatch. All right. Then type X equals. All right. Then link the sparrow here, the link icon, the sparrow here to the position of the null objects, then release. So we will have S equals this dot layer, then null 1 transform dot position, then 0, okay, into bracket 0. Then you continue, all right, with the discom. You can decide to type or maybe copy the expression that you have written somewhere and come and paste it here. So since I don't have it, I'll just type it, all right? So dash, then type discom, okay? Then select it here, discom dot width /2. Then you bring the hyphen, then X, then slash again, then discom, select the next, then enter, discom, then dot width again, then dot width, then enter, then end it with the hyphen again. Okay, so you have this. Okay, now your expression is defined. Okay, now click and copy the expression here. All right, now come to position Y here. Just alt click on the stopwatch again to bring out its expression window. Then paste what you copy from here. Paste it here. All right. Now, instead of X, we will make it Y. Let's clear the X and make it Y. All right. So we will have Y equals discom dot layer into brackets null 1 dot transform position. So the X was position 0. So the Y will be position 1. So let's type 1 there. Let's delete the 0 and type 1 there. Okay. Then discom dot width 2, where it says X here, let's make it Y again. Let me see. Instead of width, it's going to be height. So let me clear the width here, then make it height. Then you enter. Okay, so let's see if this one is also defined. Okay, the Y is also defined. So now the last one, which is the position Z. Let's alt click that one too. Like how we did the first one, let's paste it here. The copied expression, let's paste it here too. Then instead of X, let's make it Z. Okay. Now on Z, null 1, transform position. This one will be instead of 0, this one will be 2. Okay. Then discom. So let me clear this thing here. All right. So that we'll be left with, let me bring the hyphen here. Then let me clear this. Then the x, let me make it z. Okay, so the position z, there's a bit of change with the expression here. Okay, so let's see if this one is also defined. Okay, it's also defined. All right, so please note the expressions well. I'll write the expressions on the screen for you to see clearly. All right, okay, so now that we have set our expressions, I think now we can continue. Okay, let's close the producer window. Now let's come to, let me come here. Let's come to producer here. We are still on the particle word, okay? Now where it says radius, okay? Now x, y, and z here, let's give them all 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, okay? Now let me come to, let me close the producer, then come to physics. Physics velocity, let's go something like 0.10, 0.10, that's 0.10. Then the animation type, let me select viscous, okay? Then let me see gravity. Let me go 0 on gravity. Now let's come to the particles. Okay, now let me close the physics and come to particles. Let's maintain the type as line. Max opacity. Let's go 100%. Let me see opacity map. Opacity map. Let me just go now so that everything will be empty here. Just clear inside so that everything will be empty there for now. Let's see. What else? Okay, longevity here. Let's go 20. So let me see. You're not seeing our particles. So let me see. Let me see opacity map. The opacity map. Let me see something here. Okay. So the opacity map, let's slant it. Take your time to make it straight a bit. Okay. So this is okay for the opacity map. All right. Now let me close the particles here. Now let's come to grid and guide. Let me off the grid. All right, so that it will be left with the particles in the middle there. Okay. Now what we are going to do is, now we are done with the particle layer. Now let's come to the null object. Okay. So at this point, what you are going to do is, if you have maybe a love picture, you can just place it underneath this and draw according to the objects there. All right. If you don't have it, then that means you are going to draw from imagination. Okay. So let me try to get a love picture. Let me bring it in. Okay. Click and drag the love picture underneath this. Let me scale it up. Okay. Maybe somewhere here is good. Let me position it to the right side a bit so that it won't cover the full distance. So this is okay. So we are going to use this as our base to draw the particle. All right. So now we are going to use the null object to draw. Okay. Now select the null objects, then bring it down. All right. So what is actually happening is this. Whilst you see that whilst the null object move, the particle follows, because we have inserted in those expressions the x, y, z positions and link it to the null objects. That's why they are obeying the null objects as its controller. All right. So let me position the null object somewhere here. Somewhere here. Okay. All right. Then maybe I'll set a key on position. Okay. That's the starting. Or let me bring it somewhere here. Let me start somewhere here and bring the, then maybe move the timeline to something like 2 seconds. Then bring the line to this side. Okay. Bring the line to this side. Let me log this thing so that it won't. Bring the line to this side. Okay. So move the timeline again. Seconds, 1 second again. Then bring it to the middle of where the heart is. Move it 1 second again. Then bring it here. Okay. Then maybe 1 second again. Then bring it down. 1 second again. Then you bring it down. Okay. So you have something like this. Now let's adjust the positions. Okay, let me come here. Let's adjust the position. Let me see something here. Okay, you select a key point, then adjust it and move this one close. So we are forming the love shape. Okay, let me select this one also, move it. Okay, so one thing is this: creating this, I might end up wasting a bit of time with the shaping. So maybe I'll hurry up and leave this in as it is here for now, okay, and continue with the tutorial. All right, because I don't want to waste that much time here. So let me quickly reshape this thing somewhere here, then let's leave it, then continue with the tutorial. Okay, so here is okay. All right, so once we are done with that, you can off the arts. Okay, so let's see what we have. See, you see, you see. Cool. So we have our particle heart. Okay, now the beginning, the starting point, let me move it out a bit more. All right, so now let's create a composition. Let me name it picture. The width should be 1200 and the height 1000. Okay, let me name it picture 1 and click OK. Okay, now let me see the pictures that I have here. Okay, I have a picture here. Let me bring it in, scale it down. So I have this. Okay, so now let's come to scene 1, then bring the picture 1 underneath the particle. Okay, so let me position it here. So select the pen tool, then draw the love icon on the picture. So we will click here, 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 then here. Okay, now convert to, okay, let me convert this one to curve, this one to curve. So now let me arrange it, let me curve it well so that it will form the love shape. So this, okay, so this is nav. So double click on M or triple, then you feather the edge. Okay, then move this one in a bit. Okay, so you have it. So basically this is how I set it up. Now make the picture also 3D. Now what I'm going to do is, I did not use the color of the particle here. Okay, I did not use the color of the particle here. I brought in a picture. Let me see. Yeah, this picture, let me scale it up to fit. Then what I did was, I formatted it onto the particle. So it was taking the colors from the texture here. Okay, so let's see. Let me format it. So you see that instead of its own color, it is picking the textures from that particular image. So that's why some parts are lighter whilst some parts are darker. You see that? Okay. Now we are still in scene 1. So now let's insert in a camera. Okay, let's insert in a camera. So right click in, new, then camera. Okay, bring it up, then hit P on camera position. Okay, so now the beginning, let me zoom out a bit more. Okay, then I think this is enough. Then set a key at the beginning, then by the time it disappears, let me zoom in towards S so that it will disappear. Okay, something like this. All right. So we have something like this. Too fast. So let me open it up to something like 12 seconds. 12 seconds is still too. I think somewhere here is okay. So let me set a key here, then clear this one. Clear this one. Then expand it to something like 15 seconds. Okay, so I have something like this. Is it all right? So what we are going to do is we are going to use Radial Wipe on the picture. So let's come to effects and presets and type Radial Wipe. Okay. Then apply it on the picture. So let's see. Okay. So we are going to wipe it on counterclockwise. Okay. Now let's make the start angle something like 180. 180. All right. So let's see. Okay. So first I'll wipe the entire thing here. So from here, where it starts, let me hit E to bring out the effect on the picture. So the transition completion, let's set a key at the beginning there. Then start wiping, going down, so that it will follow the particles. Okay. Let me see till it ends here. So let's go to 0. All right. So let me clear the one in the middle here. So we have something like this. Let's see, so that it will follow. Okay. Now let's feather the edge here. Let's feather the edge so that it won't be that sharp. All right. Now it looks like the masking. Let me see. Okay, it's okay. So let's see. We have something like this. See that? You see? So once it wipes and reaches maybe somewhere here, you can just duplicate the radar. Okay, just duplicate it. Control D. All right. So when you duplicate it, the second one, let me off the completion. The second one will wipe clockwise instead of counterclockwise. It will wipe clockwise. Okay, so let's change the counter to clockwise. So it will wipe like this. Okay, so from here to here, that's 9 seconds. Let's set a key on completion, then move the timeline to something like 15 seconds or 14 seconds, then go 100, so that everything will disappear. So we have something like this. See, comes in. The ones is coming towards us is disappearing. See that? Okay. So that's it with the sim 1. Okay. So this is sim 1. Now let's create another composition. Let's name it main with something like, let me see, 40 seconds. Let me make it 1920 by 1080. Okay. All right. So we have the main here. So all that you have to do is just duplicate sim 1 so that you have sim 2. Okay. So now in my arrangement, I brought in sim 1 first. Okay. Then sim 2 will follow. Okay. Now there's one thing I forgot to say. If it's too slow, let's make the stretch speed something like 80 and 80 on this one too, so that it will be a bit faster. Okay. So once it reaches something like 10 seconds, it's disappearing. So whilst it's disappearing, the scene 2 will also be coming in. You see? So you have something like this. Too far away. Let me bring it in. Okay, now let's see. So basically, this is how I set the entire thing up. Okay. See. Okay. All right. So scene 2, if you have another picture, you can just replace it. Okay. Or you can just open the scene 2, then change the picture to something like black and white. Let me give it a hue and saturation so that hue, so saturation, we have a difference in the pictures. Okay. So this is okay. So now let's come to the main. Okay, so now from here, then it changes to another picture. Okay. So please take note. If you are doing multiple scenes, make sure you have different picture comps here. I have only picture 1 here, so you can have picture 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of the scenes you have to replace the pictures, the picture comps in them. Okay. All right. So now that we have this, but because of time, that's why I'm sticking to this one. Other than that, I would have raised the entire thing. Okay. So once that we have this, let's try to create a background for this. All right. So now maybe the background, let me create a new composition. A new composition. Let me just create a simple background. Let me come to particles. Let me type particular. That's Trapcode particular. Then apply it. Okay. First, let me off these things and let's see the particles. So a meter, particle per seconds. Let's go something like 800. Then the meter type, let's go box. Then where it says uniform here, let's go directional. Okay. Then let me see directional spread. Let me go something like 10. Okay. Let me see velocity. Let me go 10. Then velocity random. Let me go also 10. Then a meter size Y. Let me go 0. Then X. Something like 2,000 or 3,000. Then on Z to 2,000. Okay. All right. So let me come to particles. Okay. Particle life random. Let me go 50. Then the size. The size. Let me go 1.1. Okay. Then the size random. Let me just type 50 there. All right. Let me just change the transfer mode to screen. Let me come to physics. Okay, physics air. All right, physics air. Spin frequency, let me go 5. Then the wind Y, let me go 3. Okay. Turbulence field. Our first position, let me go 200. Okay. The scale, let me go something like 5. This is okay. Let me come back to particles again. Okay. Then the color, you can choose any color of your choice. All right. So let me go something like a bit closer to what I did. So let me go here. All right. So now let's insert in a camera in here. That's our main new camera. Okay. So with the camera inserted, let's hit C. It's for camera. All right. C again for rotation. Then we rotate. Okay. We rotate the camera. Okay. Then C, double C to bring the zoom in camera. Let me see. Double C to push it down. Let me see something here on a meter. Yeah, I made a mistake here. A meter size Z is supposed to be 2,000. Okay, yeah. So now let's rotate the camera again. Then zoom in. Okay. So let's see. Let me rotate it a bit more down. Bring it down. Let's see what we have. Okay. Okay. So now let me bring back the scenes. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll duplicate the particle composition. Then maybe let's see, particle size on the second one. I'll type maybe 1. Let me make it 0.5. Okay. Now let's come to camera. The camera option. Depth of field. Let's go. Let me on it. Then the aperture. Let me see. Let me increase it a bit. Something like 300. So let's see what we have first. Okay. Simple. I can decide to waste time a lot on the background creation, but let me end it here. Okay. You see? Okay. So let me bring this thing up. Then right click in new solid. Let me make the solid a bit purple. Darker one a bit. So it will be under. So I'll select the masking tool. Then click and drag to cut the middle here. Alright. Now click on the cascading arrow beside the mask. Then feather. Feather so it disappears. Okay. So you have something like this. If it's too strong for you, you can take it down, the opacity, take it down a bit. All right. Let me duplicate this. Duplicate the particle comes again. All right. Then the particle per seconds. Let me increase it more. Okay. See that? Cool. So we have our own particle hearts animation. You see that? You see that? Maybe I will create this background separately later on, then post it online. Okay. So with this, you can decide to maybe bring in an adjustments layer. Let me bring adjustments layer up. Okay. Then somewhere here, I'll decide to cut it somewhere here. So let me cut it somewhere here. So once I've cut the adjustments layer at the bottom here, I'll come and type VC reflect, then apply it. Okay. So when you come here, it's at the bottom here, then you bring it up. So you have something like this. Okay. So the blur amount, let me increase it. The blur amount, let me increase the blur amount. So let me see, let me go 10. Okay, so this is okay. And let me see. The particle, you can reduce the opacity of the second one. Okay, so that it will give you some softer edge there. So you have something like this. See that? You see? Okay, now you see what we have now. Simple particle hearts tutorial. A simple animation. Okay. All right. So you can decide to add text to this if you want. You just have to come to the scene, each of the scenes. scene 1, then you type your test. Maybe let me type in something. Let me type in something. Hearts or anything at all. Then make it 3D. Make it 3D. Okay. Let me clear this one. Let me scale it down. The size, let me scale the size down. Push it to this. Where is it? Push it to this side. You can decide to use just a simple fading. So maybe 3 seconds. Set a key there. You go 0. Let me bring it closer. Down. Then you make it disappear. Fade in. Okay. So this is okay. So let me copy it. Copy this test and come to scene 2 and paste it also here. So when you come to your main, you have this. Okay. All right, so guys, this comes to the end of our tutorial. Okay, please kindly like, subscribe, and comment. All right, see you next time.